Meditation and Spiritual Life, Swami Yatiswarananda. Purity according to Patanjali. Patanjali in his Yoga Sutras has given a comprehensive scheme of purification. According to him, ethical rules are of two types, yama and niyama. Yama general rules, niyama specific rules. Yama consists of 5 disciplines, which according to him are to be practiced by all people everywhere at all times. Ete jati desha kala samaya samayan vachinnaha sarvabhauma mahavratam. First comes ahimsa. So yama is to be practiced by all people everywhere at all times. And what are those yamas? First is ahimsa. First general rule is ahimsa, or not harboring any ill feelings towards others, whether they are good or bad. Remove all ill feelings as they arise in the mind. With a disturbed mind, it is not possible to have any form of concentration. So this becomes very much clear. Yama, niyama. Why to practice? A person who wishes to control his mind and use that mind to attain to mukti, liberation. For him, the first 2 steps are yama and niyama. If the goal is not mukti, then all these yama niyamas do not apply to that person. Now, removing these ill feelings, remove these ill feelings as they arise in the mind. When a disturbed mind is not possible, with a disturbed mind, it is not possible to have any form of concentration. It is not possible for us to have a concentrated mind and at the same time cherish an evil thought against anybody. I am speaking of higher concentration. The second most important point is brahmacharya or continence. Without brahmacharya, there can be no real spiritual life. When you allow the water of life to flow out through the rat holes of the body by wasting it through sex and sensual desires, there will be no energy left for higher forms of spiritual practice. It is of no use rowing a boat while it is firmly anchored near the shore. When we want a communion with the divine, what we want is communion with the divine. If there is any obstruction in the form of sexual desire, communion with God is not possible. It is just like the case of a broken telegraph wire. Electricity may be there, operator may be there, but the communication will never reach its destination as long as the broken wire is not repaired. Then comes Satya. Ahimsa, Brahmacharya, Satya. So Satya is truth. One should practice truth in word, thought and deed. Sri Ramakrishna said that he could renounce everything but not truth. Hypocrisy and self-deception have no place in spiritual life. So ahimsa, brahmacharya, satya, asteya. Next comes asteya, non-stealing. This must never be taken in the gross sense only. Anything that we wish to possess at the cost of anybody else, anything that we get by unfair means is stealing. Fifth, aparigraha. Ahimsa, brahmacharya, satya, asteya, aparigraha. Fifth, spiritual aspirants should not burden themselves with too many things. They must give up the tendency to hoard things. It's like the mind has so many applications running simultaneously at the background. All these things, clinging to things, hoarding things, are causing the mind to run small software applications to run. Hence, the mind is dissipating its energy in through so many applications. If the goal is concentration, and with the concentrated mind, a person is desiring mukti, for them, aparigraha, that is, not hoarding things, is to be practiced. Give to others whatever you don't need yourself. If acceptance of gifts from others is unavoidable, then give them back something else. Somebody is gifting you and you don't want, or you feel not inclined. Don't be rude on the face. Take it, give it to somebody else later. If you have no money to give, then give love, service, and knowledge. Niyama. So, ahimsa, brahmacharya, satya, asteya, aparigraha. These are the 5. Yama consists of 5 disciplines. These. Then is niyama. So let's see, niyama, which is specific rules, also consists of 5 rules. First comes shaucha, purity, that is purity of both body and mind. The body is a temple of God and should therefore be kept clean. Second rule is santosha, contentment. One should be satisfied with one's physical environment, because the focus has to be to develop concentration for mukti. If the mind is distracted by, oh, this is not there, that is not there, then it's a distraction, dissipation of the mental energies, not directed towards the goal. So, first is purity of body, which is God's temple, mind, God's temple. And then comes, after shaucha comes santosha, contentment. One should be satisfied with one's physical environment. You may feel dissatisfied with your spiritual progress, but do not blame the environment for all your troubles. Those who are always grumbling and complaining are simply wasting their time and energy. Do not create unnecessary discontent. Then comes tapas, shaucha, santosha, tapas, sense control. If you control the sense, friction is there. The sense wants to go outside. You are obstructing, hence tremendous friction, and thus heat is produced. Tap. The body and mind starts to heat up. So that is tapas. And the action is called tapasya. Then comes tapas, sense control, one who abandons oneself to any form of sense enjoyment, gives up one's self-control and falls victim to sense enjoyment, cannot have calmness of mind. Yoga is impossible for those who are devoid of sense self-control, says Vyasa. Vyasa's commentary on Patanjali's Yoga Sutra. Na tapasvino yogaha siddhyati. Then comes swadhyaya, shaucha, santosha, tapas, swadhyaya. So this means not only the study of books, but also the study of one's own mind. So studying the books and then reflecting and analyzing the own mind is actually swadhyaya. Finally comes Ishvara Pranidhana, self-surrender to the divine. Now, Swadhyaya has various levels also, I feel. When you're studying, there can be group study, discussions. Then, again, self-study of the books and reflection. Then, studying my own mind. You're turning your external mind towards the inner world. You become more self-sufficient and not so much dependent of the external people and aids. Then comes Ishvara Pranidhana, the next step, where you surrender to the divine. You form first the habit of depending on the self, and then slowly even that puny self is left behind and you surrender to the divine, which removes the subtlest form of impurity, that is egotism. There is this important point to note before the aspirant takes up the next step in spiritual discipline, that is the practice of asana, posture. So yama, niyama, we saw. Then is asana and then is pranayama. Then is dhyana, dharana, pratyahar, samadhi. These are the 8 steps for samadhi. So what the author is telling is, before the practice of asana, the third step, a person must have already gone through the whole of this ethical culture. So highly do the teachers of spiritual life value purity and non-attachment. So as Sri Ramakrishna says, if you have a thorn stick stuck to your hand, you use another thorn to remove the first thorn and then throw them both away. So first, the ethical culture of the mind will remove the non-ethical, draining, distracting habits, replace it with yama, niyama. Then with such a body and mind, practice asana. Once you practice asana, yogasana, the body becomes fit to practice pranayama. Such a aspirant who has all these 4 then goes to dhyana, dharana and all those further process of spiritual progress.